We are the TSP Tweens. We meet each Sunday at Trinity-St. Paul's United Church to talk about God and stuff.
Tweens is a bit different than other church school groups. We hear what everyone has done during their week,
like scoring a goal in a hockey game or competing in a big swim meet.
Maybe checking out new middle schools.
Last year we went camping and we're going again.
We helped a lot with this year's Advent pageant.
Somehow, in the middle of all this fun stuff, we talk about Jesus. We asked a lot of questions.
So we turned to our elders and friends in the congregation to help us understand things better.
You grow up in?
I grew up in a faith called Doukhobors, where, like Mennonite people, we're committed to nonviolence. So my relatives in Russia 100 years ago were persecuted because they refused to fight in wars.
I grew up in the Mennonite church, which is a Protestant church, but when I was about 7 years old, I lived in a community where there was only a United Church. So I went to United Church. So I've been going to the United Church ever since.
Jesus used a lot of metaphors when he speaks. Why do you think he did that?
I think because he was one of the people and he wanted people to understand his messages. And so stories are a really, really good way to do that.
Jesus used metaphors to help us understand. Often we can, big concepts like faith and love and trust are hard to understand unless we have examples like living water or like bread of life.
I think Jesus was trying to help people think differently when he used metaphors, so he created some pictures that might have enabled that to happen. So you can't imagine someone fishing for men, can you? But you get the idea of a hook and grabbing someone.
Why do you think that Jesus' followers believed that he was the Son of God and not just a nut?
Well, I think he probably sounded very sincere, and I think that they liked the things he was saying and that they wanted to believe that he was telling the truth.
Because I think they, after spending time with him and experience with him, they understood that the things he was talking about and the messages he had had a certain lasting truth to them. That they were messages derived from God. I think they felt this in their minds intellectually, and they felt it through their hearts and their souls as well.
Well, he performed a number of miracles to which they were witness, and I guess this probably was the single, in my view, the single largest reason why they would believe he was the Son of God. And of course he told them that he was too, and the miracles seemed to bear this out.
How do you know that Jesus is the Son of God?
Oh my goodness, how do I know that? Jesus is the Son of God. You got hard questions. I think Jesus was a man. And I think Jesus came at a very difficult time, and I think in faith we believe that Jesus is the Son of God. But I think we are all children of God.
Well, the Bible tells us so.
How do I know that Jesus was the Son of God? Good question. I don't know if I'll ever fully know that, but you have a pretty good sense that he's special, not just because of all the things he's been able to do, but for every which way he can inspire us and move us for generations. When that happens with one individual, you got to believe it's come from somewhere divine, maybe God.
And what are some ways that you live and be in your faith?
That's a really hard question, but I think by coming to church, but I think by reading, doing lots of reading in the Bible and other readings from other religions, and just thinking about my actions and seeing if they fit into the footsteps of Jesus.
Live as close to the divine as we can. So I think every day and in every way, basically we try and treat people with respect. We try and respect the earth and respect everything about creation.
Well, I think it's important to take time with people, to really carefully listen to them. I'm a doctor, so I can help a lot of people, which is wonderful. But what I like to do is spend more time on people who can fend for themselves.
You know, there's time when things are difficult. And to know that God is with you and to be able to do things that, you have a full faith that the Lord would take care of you.
Do you like to pray?
Yeah, and it all depends. I guess I always say this. It depends on what you mean by pray. So I meditate.
Well, it's part of my life to pray. And there's an expression that says, more things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of.
Yes and no. Sometimes prayer comes easily. Other times it's very difficult to pray because you can't. The words don't seem to come.
How do you like to pray?
I thought these questions were supposed to be easy. How do I like to pray? I was told there was 2 questions, they were going to be easy. How do I like prayer? How do I like to pray? I pray through the day, usually in the morning when I get up, and often at night before I go to bed. It's where and I also say grace always at meals, to be grateful for all the things that we have.
I don't know if I would say I do the classic clasp your hands together, kneel at my bedside every night to pray, but I think I certainly do pray when I have moments to myself. It's not just before every meal. It could be even when I'm playing hockey and I'm in net. I'll do a little tap of the goalposts, think about what's been going well for me and where things could get better, and I like to connect with God that way.
I like to pray in many ways. Sometimes I kneel by my bed, like my mother taught me. Sometimes I pray when I'm swimming or walking in the forest. But most of all, I like to pray with other people. I like to sit in a circle and we share a prayer and maybe sing something in between. And I like to pray in church because I like the thoughtfulness of the words that people have chosen. So I like it that way.
This was Trinity-St. Paul's TV, and we were asking people what they thought about Jesus and faith. Thank you.